What's up, world? It's your boy, Mike Muse. Welcome to the conversation, the Mike Muse Show. I'm so excited, man, to be in conversation with my friend, a legend, an icon within hip hop. He has done so much to do all the things and all the music we're loving, that we're rocking still right now, currently and future. But he is a son of Baltimore, and we are all about the horse racing right now. Kentucky Derby was crazy last weekend. I know we all saw the upset and what's going to happen. Now we're moving on to the Preakness. And Kevin Liles, because he's Kevin Liles, he only has his hand in greatness and all things cool and exciting and on trend of hip hop. He's launching the first ever Preakness live during the Preakness weekend. We're gonna have celebrities performance from Megan Thee Stallion. We're gonna have D Nice, Brittany Spencer, Derek Adams, who I love. I love art. Ladies and gentlemen, when you see this conversation on YouTube, you can't see it right now as you're listening right now on air live. My man is smoking a cigar. You know I love some cigars. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Liles. What's happening, man?
What up, Mikey? How you doing, brother?
Good, baby. You look good, boy.
Man, God's been good. I'm in the big city, man. I've been running, man. We started pushing P in the new year, and we went to the Super Bowl with Mary J. Hip hop. We dropping all kinds of songs, and God's just been so good, man. And now Preakness is up next, so I'm excited. I tell people I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm a serial a son of Baltimore that always loves to give back, and the Preakness and my partners at first and the Carlet's company have given me an opportunity to help curate Preakness in Baltimore. You got to understand, like, Preakness was going on 147 years, and this is the first time it's ever been curated by a Baltimorean in a way. And so I tell people it's a triple crown. You got the Derby, you got Belmont, you got the Preakness. You know what I mean? So we got this jewel of a opportunity that people have not touched in a way that even live in Baltimore. You know what I mean? Yeah, so Preakness, I wanted to bring soul to it. So what better way than to touch your ears, touch your eyes, touch your taste, and give you a taste of my city.
Now, before we go there, Kevin, I got to ask you, speaking of taste, what type of cigar are you smoking on?
Right now, this is a Hoya de Monterrey series La Jolla. It is, one of my Cubans. I do one of these a day.
Perfect.
Life is
good.
These things.
My audience knows I'm a big fan of cigars. My daily cigar I love is a Padron 1964 number 4. That's one of my go-tos. I can't get a hold of a Cuban. I don't have my own Preakness live events. I can't get the Cubans every day.
Might not have that, but I can get you some Cubans though.
Good. So you know what I'm excited about this for, Kevin, is that because the Preakness has been, I mean, people would think about like the Kentucky Derby, but the Preakness has always been one of the premier events of horse racing as part of the Triple Crown. But the Kentucky Derby has gotten all the attention in terms of like the cool factor, where if you are a lover of horse racing, the Preakness is so special, right? So why was it important for you to do something, at the Preakness? Because I believe your first stint, as you've always been, like you are culture, right? And so I'm just curious, like, how was this iteration coming about in terms of creating such a cultured event at the Preakness and seeing this marriage?
If you ever been to Pimlico Racetrack, it's actually in Park Heights. Now, if anybody knows about Park Heights is like, it's not the most well-known area, but if you're from the street, you know all about Park Heights. And Park Heights is a lovely community that we're constantly trying to revitalize, constantly trying to give more opportunities around education and entrepreneurship and employment. And that was one of the biggest reasons I got involved, because I saw that the first group felt that we can't just come into the city, throw something, and then go out. And it's like it just happened for that one moment. And so what's been going on for the last year, even while we were still under the pandemic, we've been having meetings with the mayor's office, with President City Council, with the local people and the schools, and how can we better the area? How can we make this a family experience? How can we involve you and get the very soul of Park Heights, not just a Preakness, the very soul of Park Heights involved in this event? And so that's what struck me when I was brought about the opportunity. I just said, it's such a jewel of a horse race, but it's nothing more important than the people.
That's
And
so true.
the people of Park Heights, I want them to come celebrate. There's tickets that we're giving the organizations there. And you know, and again, I try to say, I called my friends and I said that you can't have a horse race without the stallion. You know what I mean? You can't, you can't, you get Meg got to come, and you can't have one invite all queens and not have Lauryn Hill not there. And I got to tell Dee to bring Club Quarantine to freak this. So I they're just the friends. And then my local, the artists that you mentioned, Brittany Spencer, is one of mine. And, Darren Atwater and, the Soulful Symphony, I want to have them. And of course, it's the Charm City. And so I'm celebrating art. I'm celebrating food. Tom Colicchio, one of the big celebrity chefs, and Marcus Samuelson, another big celebrity chef. And I got every Baltimore restaurant that's there. I got them coming out because I wanted them to share their taste of Baltimore.
Yeah.
With everyone. I got an unplugged stage. If you watch, YouTube, we do this thing called 300 Unplugged, 300U. I got an unplugged stage that I'm curating for everybody. And more importantly, I'm coming to celebrate life and love with the very city that helped me be who I am today.
So speaking of, I want to lean into that because, audience, one thing I've always known about Kevin Liles is his Baltimore roots. And I'm always a fan of individuals who lean into their hometown and they don't forget about the hometown, right? Because this isn't your first foray into projects within Baltimore and giving back into your city. I know you've done a lot of things other with the city and some, I think, football fields, or you've done some other give back programs within Baltimore. You have a field named after you, don't you, Kevin? If I'm not mistaken.
I have a stadium, my old high school, Woodlawn.
I knew it, man. I'm tracking you, man. Yeah.
Played football there, but I wanted to not just put a football field. It's track and field. I wanted to give the community a place that they can go and walk and play and do all kinds of things, have races and games, and we put lights, and we were one of the first schools to put lights and of the magnitude that I did it in a digital board and the whole thing. And now everybody else is going to stay there. So I got to figure out what else I'm gonna add to the stadium to make it special. But yeah, God's been good, man. He's provided me with a lot of success, and with success comes a lot of responsibility. And I don't put my name on things to just have my name. I want kids to Google it and see what it takes and see the responsibility that success leads. And I build these things around Baltimore. Even my back to school festival that I had to stop because of COVID for these last 2 years, but 7,000 people out there giving out backpacks, giving out thousands of pounds of food, working with the churches and local communities, getting haircuts, nails done, everything. It's just been a blessing, man. I can't, it's a city, you cut me open, I'm B-more. It's just New York is the last 40 years, 30.
But I think that's important, audience, even if you don't have the stature of a Kevin Liles. I think there's something about a constitution. And Kevin, my audience knows I'm really big on understanding people's constitution, what a person's constitution is. And I think when you have such a constitution that loves, one, just to give back, but then two, loves your home city, and three, it makes it authentic and you want to care about it. And so audience, even as you're thinking about what you can do in your own neighborhoods and communities, just always make sure you're thinking about what the give back can be. And so it's so important. Kevin, I'm actually, out of everyone you mentioned, Meg Thee Stallion, Lauryn Hill, D Nice, what I'm most excited about because it's you is Derek Adams. And just because I love art and I talk about visual art here a lot. And audience, as you know, we're coming off of the sale of Andy Warhol's Maryland, which sold for 175 million hammer, but 195 million when it came to premium and fees. And Andy Warhol, as you know, hung out with Basquiat, and the person who bought it was Larry Gagosian, who actually not founded, but actually put Basquiat on the map, was one of his original art dealers. And Kevin, I think hip hop is really transformed Black artists in the scene. If you look at what Jay-Z did with that song Picasso Baby, you look at what Swiss Beats is doing, down at Art Basel. And so I'm just really curious about your thought process of selecting Derek Adams to be a part of this, and then in what capacity, will Derek Adams be featured within this space?
Derek, God bless him. He's such, he is art, and the last resort installation that we're going to do, we wanted to just take a lot of artists for Baltimore. You know what Derek does, he puts everybody around and lets them create, you know, and so we said, what better stage than the Preakness to show off the art of Baltimore. And so, you know, Derek is going to come, and a lot of other artists, they're going to give us their heart and their soul. And, you know, and again, I always say we're coming out of a pandemic. So imagine the creativity that people had the time to do because they were home. Imagine the songs that people are going to write. Imagine the voices that are going to come, and the song titles and the melodies that are going to coming out of the pandemic. So I believe art is life and life is art. And so Derek is going to bless us with his gift.
I cannot wait to see that. And I believe art right now is moderating a social construct. I believe art holds a mirror up to society. In particular, Black artists are holding mirrors up to the consciousness of Blackness and the soul of Blackness for the world to see on display. So I just can't imagine what an artist coming out of Baltimore is going to be able to do, like, for the city. You know, why do you?
I'm gonna say something to Mike.
Oh, sure,
so,
go.
You know, I thought about everything that I wanted people to see on the world stage. Everybody's going to be tuning in to the Preakness. So like you said, you had an upset at Kentucky Derby. Now we're going to Preakness. So everybody's wondering, can this upset happen again? What's going to happen here? I called Dr. Wilson at Morgan State University. I said, I want the first ever HBCU marching band to play at Preakness during Friday. So actually, Morgan State University marching band, HBCU, let's go Bears. We're going to be playing Preakness. Again, I'm showing the world, you know, it's like Deion Sanders, my man, they played the first thing on ESPN at Jackson State. I'm gonna show the world the power of an HBCU and where we come from. So I'm excited for just to show every piece of Baltimore, you know, you know, to my man open a restaurant called Black Swan down there, man open a restaurant called Bar One down there. All these things I want people to experience, you know, because, you know, most people say, oh, Baltimore, you know, the home of the Wire, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna say the home of the Wire, the home of the Four Seasons, the home of Fells Point, the home of Morgan State, the home of Copper.
Yes.
You go down the list, the home of one of our warriors, Marilyn Mosby, the state's attorney who fight the good fight. You know, we got, you know, Brandon Scott, our lovely mayor, president city council, you know, Mr. Mosby. It's like you got so many great people there, and we got Wes Moore running for governor.
I was just thinking that. I was just about to.
Come on, baby.
Kevin, I'm just here, but I was really about to go there with Wes Moore too as well, because Baltimore sits at this intersection. To me, Baltimore does. Let me rephrase it. To me, Baltimore doesn't get the respect that it deserves for sitting at this intersection of culture, politics, and art, right? And Baltimore is such an authentic city. It's an East Coast city, but it's not part of the coastal elites when you think about like New York and LA, right? It's not DC, although it's in the DMV area, right? So it's almost like sits outside all of the norms while maintaining its own identity, but also too while driving the narrative of change, right? And social dynamics, right? And authenticity, right? And driving these factors there, which is, Kevin, honestly, man, when I found you were doing this, I got excited, right? Because it's like, we always put so much emphasis on New York and LA. And as a kid from Lansing, Michigan, man, I love when other cities get love. You know what I mean? It's because it's like, it's time. And it's time, like the son of Baltimore is able to come back. When people come, Kevin, and come to experiences, I'm always curious about like, what do you thought? Like, what is your takeaway? What do you want people to leave with, you know, after experiencing this great weekend that you're about to curate, you know, them with?
I want them to first, you know, an African American won the Preakness in the 1800s. And I'm trying to think the exact date. But we haven't won at the Preakness ever since then. Mm-hmm. Remember when we got introduced to golf, what happened? When we got introduced to mm-hmm. tennis, what happened? When we got introduced to a Formula One, what happened? When Bubba Watson, one of my clients, got introduced to NASCAR, you know, what mm-hmm. happened? He took down the Confederate flag. horse racing is a high capitalized sport. So there's not a lot of people that's in it, but the more we can introduce it to people, there's going to be somebody that comes and breaks the cycle and gives us the opportunity. And I tell people, like, what I want people to leave with is not only the realization that, the Preakness is in Park Heights at Pimlico Racetrack in Baltimore, but I want them to leave with, oh, I love the people of Baltimore. Oh, I love the sound of Baltimore. Oh, I love the taste of Baltimore. Add some Old Bay seasoning to everything. I love the opportunity in Baltimore. If you've seen what we've done with in the harbor and Fells Point. Oh, I love that an African American feels he's strong enough to run for the governorship of Maryland. Oh, I see how, the politicians trying to do right because they sit in between DC and Virginia and all these things. I just want them to, and you say, I always say, I love Kentucky Derby, cool, and Belmont, cool, and I love the people of those places. But when you say Baltimore, when you say be more, when you touch that thing, I want to change the perception and bring people to Baltimore in a way that they've never seen it before. So what better way than to take them through a journey of Preakness, but to give them the soul of Baltimore.
What I love, though, too, is the inclusivity of Baltimore, right? And I love how you're saying the first African-American, and we'll find a day, don't worry, Kevin, about the first Black person won the Preakness. But when you think about the Kentucky Derby, sometimes there's parts of Kentucky that always doesn't feel as inclusive, right? And there is this almost, it seems like a barrier of entry to attend the Kentucky Derby, right? All the way from the outfits to the look to the style, right? You don't feel as welcome. But I think there's something about setting it in the space and place of Baltimore to allow more people of color, more Black people to feel like they have a space and place in racehorsing, because racehorsing and anything horse related seems to be a sport for others. It's othering, a very premium aspect of it. And so the idea that you're bringing this dynamic to the Preakness, where it's about community and it's about culture, I think it allows entree for people to feel welcomed into the sports racing world. And for me, I hope that it extends beyond just a Preakness, but like people will feel like they are welcomed into the horse racing. As you said, it just takes one. It just takes Bubba, the Confederate flag. It just takes Venus and Serena, right? Although we have the Arthur Ashe, and then oh my God, Aaliyah Gibson from tennis, right? So it just takes one to break these norms down so we can participate in that place, man. So I just want to thank you, Kevin, for doing that and to making things feel open and inclusive. But that's the beauty of music, right? And that's the beauty of hip hop, which is the position that you sit in. And I'm not going to let you leave. I know I have a couple minutes with you left. As a co-founder and CEO of 300, what do we have coming down the pipeline, man? You got to give us something. Yeah, I mean, I can't. My audience would hate me if I only have you talking about horses.
Listen, I've been blessed, man. We did something that's never done before. Actually, sold our company in December to the Warner Music Group, a place that I know and love. And it was for a moment in time that will go down in history. I don't want to talk numbers or anything, but it'll go down in history for what was done in 8 years. But now I have even bigger opportunity. Now I have 5,000 people around the world. Now I have the Electra music group that's merging with 300. So I have the opportunity to speak to rock, pop, alternative, country. I have the opportunity to speak to like a Def Jam audience in 300. And I got a new Meg Thee Stallion album coming. I got a Thug and Gunna album coming. I have all sorts of a Pink Panthers album coming, a young girl from London. I got a Britney Spence album coming very soon. And I'm just looking for the opportunity to find that next young person that God gave a gift to, that I can help share with the world, to help change the world and be the actual soundtrack to someone's life, man. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. And also want to inspire the next Kevin Liles. Like I was inspired by Russell and Barry, and now we've been continuing to being inspired by, you know, what's his name, Rich Paul, and the rest of these kids that are doing,
and
you know,
LeBron,
all the friends of mine. And I remember when BET turned 25 years old, and Bob Johnson, you know, asked me to speak on it. I said, man, I can tell you everything about it because I've been there the whole time. And to see what Tyler Perry's doing, to see the opportunity that for Ava, to go down the list and see what, you know, the Black Panther did. I mean, you can see God is reminding us who we are and what we are, and allowing us to be great. But there's so much more greatness out there. It's just the problem is we've been educated to be employees, not entrepreneurs. We've been educated to go work for somebody else and not create something for yourself. And so you asked me what's next is, I want to find those next entrepreneurs. I want to find those next risk takers. I want to give them the freedom to take advantage of every opportunity, but be prepared for when the opportunity comes. Because you don't know when God gives you. You just got to be steadfast and continue to work on your craft and be the best at what you are, and then God will do the rest.
Kevin Liles, my brother, I couldn't think of a better way to end. I was going to ask you there's a couple of things that was stirring in my mind when you were talking, but I was like, I want to let that breathe. I want to let that leave right there. Kevin Liles, I would love to have you come back because I think I want to unpack more with you, right? In particular, there is no, not just in the music and entertainment space, but also true, there's no Black person, Black man that's been able to do what you've been able to do, right? And I love the 360 of you selling it to Warner, where you had a huge impact on. And I love the story. For me, this conversation is wrapping in full 360s. The story of you starting as an intern in the mailroom, right? And kind of working your way up to where you are right now, right? But then giving back for the next set of entrepreneurs, while at the same time creating this Preakness Live and giving back, to Baltimore. So there's such like completion with you. I want to unpack that more. So we gotta find some time for you to come back, bro.
You got the number. I'm always open to talk about with success comes responsibility. And to me, I always that I wanted to make money and I wanted to provide for my family. Now I want to just have freedom to do the things that I want to do when I want to do it with who I want to do it with. And when I turned 50, I changed my value proposition. I said, I want to listen, I want to learn, I want to lead, and I want to love. And if it don't fit those 4 pillars of my life, I don't want to be involved. And so to me, I don't know what God's saying this to me. I hope everybody that's listening right now, always be willing to press reset. Always willing to put your 4 pillars, become a product of your experiences, and do more, be more, because the job's not done. It's just not done.
It's not done. And we have to be done, but the conversation is going to continue with you and I. I'm so proud of you, audience. Please make sure you go get tickets right now. They are on sale for the Preakness Live. Kevin Liles has something very special planned for you. Obviously, Kevin, I'm going to try my best to get down there, brother.
I love the host, man. So we have a good time.
Yeah, I will love it. I love it. I'm so proud of you, man. Audience, that is Kevin Liles. What more can I say? Stay right there and we'll be right back.